you want to learn about some safe alcohol consumption information? Okay. Cool. So after a night of drinking and you're, trying to get ready to go home and you want to drive, what do you do to try to sober up?
Drink coffee.
Okay, so that's actually a really common myth. A lot of people think that it helps, but really the only thing that helps get rid of being drunk is actually waiting it out, because you lose about 0.015% of your alcohol or your blood alcohol content in about 40 minutes to an hour. So the more drinks you have, the higher your blood alcohol content gets, and you need to lower that a bit before you're able to drive again.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So are you familiar with what BAC means?
Not really.
Okay, well it stands for blood alcohol content, and it is a way to measure how much alcohol is in your system, and it depends on how many standard drinks you have. And the Department of Motor Vehicles has a limit to driving, which is 0.08. So what that means is if you have 0.08 blood alcohol content, that means that 0.08% of your blood is alcohol. Now, something to keep in mind is that just because you're at the legal limit or below, your driving skills could still be impaired, and you could be putting yourself or others at risk for drunk driving. And it's important to understand the standard serving size, which Katie will explain right now.
Okay, so we have a couple different sizes of glasses here for whatever you like to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So of these 2 shot glasses, which one do you think is a standard drink of 80 proof hard alcohol?
I'm guessing it's that one.
This one?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, you're wrong. No offense.
Oh.
So this one here, if you look at the line, it's got 1.5 ounces. So 1.5 ounces of 80 proof alcohol is considered one drink. So a lot of times if you order a drink out at a bar, they'll actually, when they mix it in with a bunch of stuff, you'll end up with a huge glass. So it's important to kind of watch them and see how much they actually put in each one. And then, so these are sort of some standard beer cups. You might get this at a party or this at a bar or that at home.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think is a standard glass of beer there?
I'm guessing that one.
That one?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. So that one is actually 12 ounces, which is basically a can of beer. A can of beer is generally 12.5. Both of these here, even though they look different, are actually 16 ounces. They're a full pint. So that means that if you were to have 3 of either of these, it would actually be the equivalent of 4 drinks. So that makes a big difference once you start to get up there, especially with a tiny little lady like yourself.
So those 2 are the same.
Yeah, they are. And then so for the wine glasses here, wine glasses typically, are not completely full, but which one do you think is closest to the standard drink size?
Ooh, I'm guessing that one.
You're right again. So a standard drink size for wine is about 5 ounces, so it's actually going to be right around this top of the label right there on that one. And on something like this, it would be, right about here. So it's definitely a big difference.
It is.
And especially with wine, when wine tends to be a little bit higher alcohol content than something like beer, but it's still drank just as casually.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so Alex is actually going to tell you about what happens if you think that you or your friend, well, I guess probably more your friend, has drank too much.
Some signs and symptoms for alcohol poisoning if someone has had too much would include a very drunken stupor, if they can barely stand up and they're swaying around, if they're vomiting profusely, if their breathing rate is very slow. Generally, if they take 8 breaths or fewer per minute, that's not a good sign. If they're unconscious and you can't wake them up, that's not a good sign either. So if you see any of these, because you want to remember that not all of them might be present, you would want to call 911, monitor them, don't leave them alone, make sure they're okay. And if they need to vomit, make sure that they're not lying on their back. And watch them until the proper authorities authorities come to help you. And if you need any sources of information or help, Chico State has the Campus Alcohol and Drug Education Center. They're known as KDEC. They're really helpful for Chico State students. And then also, you could talk to the Chico Police Department if you need some help as well.
Great.
So I hope you've learned a lot about how to consume alcohol safely.
Yeah, I did.
And if you want, you can take some of these with you. This is a little pamphlet that kind of summarizes everything we've gone through, and it has some phone numbers of important people at the back. And then also you can sort of take this with you, which has some basic signs of alcohol poisoning and what to do, and inside it has a little drink chart as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have a
thank
good
you.
one.
You too.
Stay safe.